Okay, so after countless hours of working on the E36 motor, we have decided that we're not going to go with that block.
So, Nico, what are we doing today?
Dude, we're finally going to start tearing apart the motor on the E36. Since we do plan on boosting the car, we got a replacement M52, and there's a few reasons for that. First being, the cost to replace an M52 is super low. I picked this one up for 300 bucks. You try to get an S52, you're gonna be paying in excess of like 1,600 bucks, and then you still gotta buy all the other stuff to go with it. So I said, well, I have an S52 already. The cams are okay since we're gonna be pulling it out of there. I have full bolt-ons, so I can also pull the M50 manifold off of there, which if you guys don't know what the difference is, feel free to drop a comment. We can do a future video on that. We can do a side-by-side comparison of the two manifolds. But there is also tons of content out there, so feel free to look into it. So aside from it being 300 bucks, there's also a big thing with these motors. They have a lot thicker cylinder walls because the displacement's smaller. The bore is smaller and the stroke is smaller. So these things are actually very stout for a stock internal style build, where if you're just trying to build a fun little ripper, you know, all you gotta do is upgrade the oil pump nut, head gasket, minor stuff that you can all do from the comfort of your home and have a nice, well-running car making 400 plus wheel horsepower, no problem. And if you look in here, I got some cleaning to do. Oh, brother. Yep. No fun, but it's okay. Nice little trip to the machine shop. We're gonna get the head resurfaced, and we're gonna get a hot tank to clean out all of the rubbish that's in there, and should be good to go. So I'm gonna get back to it. Alright, so now we've got all the hardware off the valve cover gasket. We're going to pull it off and we're going to see what the health of this engine is, because believe it or not, you can actually tell on these motors the life and how they were maintained based on a lot of the conditions like in the valve train. You know, so if there's a lot of sludge buildup, then chances are they weren't really keen on doing their oil changes and such. So be surprised at how much a story you can find out when you just pull the valve cover gasket off. Okay. Looks okay. All right, sweet. So now the next order of business, we're gonna pull this front cover off. We're gonna remove the Vanos unit. And then from there we should be able to pull the head off with nothing in the way. I think I could technically leave the Vanos unit on, but I don't know. I'm gonna rack my brain a little bit and then go from there. Okay, so we just finished pulling the head off of the block, and my worst fears have come to fruition. After inspecting it, we've just come to the conclusion that there's a little bit of rough surfaces from water and stuff sitting in there. It didn't cause any pitting, but there is some buildup, especially in cylinder 1. If I were to move this down for you guys, you could see it. Like right in this area, it's pretty rough on the surface, so nothing that's too concerning.
Got it too, though.
So all of the cylinders pretty much have it in different spots. Good news is there's still cross-hatching from what we can see. My suspicion is that since the motor was sitting on its side, sort of like it is now, I feel like maybe some water built up inside and it caused a rough surface. So We're gonna pull the motor apart more than we wanted to, and probably re-ring the thing after we do a little dingle hone in each cylinder and go from there. So coming over here to the head, aside from a little bit of surface rust that we see here, there's normal carbon buildup on the valves, a little bit of crud, probably contributed from the elements I was just referring to. It scrapes off with a nail, so this is going to be a little bit more of an involved tear down. All of this you see here on the surface, the mating surface with the block, that's going to be completely rectified because it's going to get shaved, I think around 10 thousandths or so. So all of that should go away.
Okay. So what do we have in your hand? What do you have in your hand?
Well, we took apart the bottom end, got all the pistons out, rods, left the crank in there for now. We decided we're going to use these little sanding blocks. We're going to do a quick little hone job on the cylinders and kind of inspect to see if that cleaned it up before we go any further. So I'm going to start with this one. Roughly it's around 20 seconds of moving it consistently to create nice even cross hatches. And we're using some liquid wrench to help lubricate cylinder walls as we do that, so we're not really scoring into the material too much. So I'm going to get started on that. We can check out the progress of number one once I'm done. Alright guys, so we finished up with the work on the cylinder block, and like we said earlier, it was a lot more work than we were expecting it to be. We were hoping it would just be a simple pull the head off, send it to the machine shop, throw the head gasket on, bolt it all back together kind of deal. Turns out that cylinder walls need a little bit of love, so we decided to pull the rotating assembly out of it and give it all a quick freshen up. So we did a honing job using sanding blocks on the end of a drill, and we just kept it an even sort of feed up and down to create nice even cross hatches. And we were actually able to clean up the cylinder walls quite a bit. So if you come over here, I can give you guys a quick look. You see right there, cylinder walls are pretty neat. Hey, also I forgot one last thing, a little tech tip for you guys if you're doing it at home as well. Highly recommend you get yourself a set of punches that look like this, right? There's a little embossed letter or number that's gonna be on the end of it, and use a hammer to smack it into whatever object you plan on labeling. The reason I bring this up is when we tore this thing apart, we saw that the bearings were in good condition, and since we're doing it on a relatively low dollar kind of build and trying not to put too much into a motor, given we weren't expecting to do this anyways, we decided we were going to mark each piston and connecting rod as a set, including the rod cap and in what direction they were facing. So that way we don't have to go and get new bearings and, you know, do that whole trick of the engine and re-break it in. So since we were trying to keep it low buck, we decided to keep and reuse them since they look to be in pretty good condition. So get yourself a set of those. It'll make life a lot easier. Punch them before you throw in the hot tank, and you should have some pretty nice and clean parts and know exactly how to throw them back in when you're all done. I'm going to get back to it. Okay, so after countless hours of working on the E36 motor, we have decided that we're not going to go with that block. We're still going to keep it on a budget theme, but we just can't in our right mind put fresh components in there, knowing that the cylinder block needs to be machined. Good news is that since it's an M52, we still have room to machine it, but that just takes it into a whole other ball game. And at that point, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to build a forged motor, and that kind of defeats the purpose of this series I'm doing for you guys. So, you know, we're going to save that for later because you can never get enough power, right? But the funny thing about all of this is that Ryan doesn't know tonight we're actually going to go pick up a replacement motor for it. I'm not telling you guys what motor, but he has no idea. And it's currently midnight and we're at the shop right now. So let's start getting the show on the road and see his reaction. All right, Ryan, you ready?
For what?
Get in the truck.
Get in the truck?
Yes.
Why?
We'll go into Jotunheim.
What the fuck is Jotunheim?
That's right, that's from Thor.
Oh.
So I went to go see the Frost Giants.
No.
Especially a Marvel fan.
Predated Marvel by a millennia.
What'd you say?
A millennia?
Before that, I didn't hear any of that.
I said I'm pretty sure Jotunheim predates Marvel by millennia.
Get in the truck.
Too late now.
Are we like really?
Yes.
Where are we going?
To
Are we going somewhere?
Jotunheim.
Yeah, we're going somewhere. Dude, that was chill.
I'd like to buy a motorcycle.
Something fell off the car.
Oh, your speaker.
My speaker.
Your speaker. Hold on.
You're fucking joking.
Put your hazards on.
Put my hazards on.
Was that really your speaker?
Yes, it really was my speaker. You know why you saw it?
And I'm the drunk one.
You're so freakishly tall.
Are you just gonna blame Ryan now?
No, I also saw it. I didn't get it. I was gonna get hit by a car. He'll never know where we were going. The battery's.
I almost fought that homeless guy for it.
Wait, really?
Yeah. He was walking back to pick it up. I was like, nope, thanks though. He was walking back to pick it up. He's like, oh. He's like, yeah, no, thanks.
That would have been a fan come up for that homeless guy.
I'd have to disconnect and you'd have to connect. It'd actually be a whole thing.
Oh.
You could just take my phone and do it. It's gonna play some of your music. Where's my phone?
It's in my hand.
Oh, it's my phone?
Yeah.
That's cool.
This is great. I feel like Nico's filming my death or something.
Imagine.
That'd be fucking wild. The guy just
Sell you
comes
into-
up and shoots you in the chest.
Well,
Gotcha! Flash your lights, Connor.
this is so sketchy. Because I don't know what's happening. How's it going,
man? You still have no idea what the hell is going on. do
No,
you?
I know exactly what that is.
You do?
Yeah, it's the new motor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But guess what kind?
E36.
Yes.
Yeah.
Specifically.
M3.
Yep.
Yeah. I figured.
Surprise!
That. I figured that.
He was sketched out. He had no idea the AC.
I was like, if I'm gonna be ready, if it's gonna happen, I'm gonna be ready. I had no idea what was going on. Good gracious.
So excited.
Are you?
Yeah, look at me. I'm jumping.
Yeah, I know. Man, she's mighty purty. Hey,
Look at the new slugs. They're so beautiful.
It's much better than yours.
Thank you, Clive. Thank you. This is like redneck Christmas.
redneck.
This is the one that I just had micro polished because I was gonna build this motor.
What'd you change it to? S54?
LS.
That's
A little different. Yeah, this one literally just had polished.
Pull up the light, Clive.
Connor's the light man, you know that.
Look at that. Look at
So they
that.
didn't take no material off, they just polished it.
Yeah, yeah. They
Just clean it up.
looks great. Oh, man.
Mighty fine.
Yo, check this out.
We pulled the head off and we thought there was water.
I was
sitting
checking out the
inside
sound
there.
key earlier.
That is a honker.
Yeah, this is a.
What does that take whole trains apart?
Did apart yet or no?
Sure. Sure.
When I pulled the valve
This
cover
comes
off,
with my IKEA furniture.
it didn't shoot a rod through anywhere, no oil in here.
My nightstand came with that one.
How big is the
When I turned it
nightstand?
over, it sounded like
Some serious hardware.
IKEA's really stepping up their game.
I had to buy a torque wrench to put together my bookshelf.
All right, so that was pretty fun surprising him. I'm super stoked that we got that. I know as far as the money we're spending, it's not quite budget anymore because we're not using the original one, but for the sake of this series, we're just going to consider that we already had it. Huge shout out to Robert for driving all the way from San Diego at literally midnight. We just got back and it's like 1:30 in the morning, so huge shout out to him. Thank you so much, bro. Big part of this build. It's amazing. The crankshaft is polished. It's an S52 block. Everything looked to be in great condition. We inspected it before actually doing the transaction and it looks to be in great shape so far. So we're gonna get into a more technical update on the next video. This was really just like you know, it was kind of sad at first earlier on when we discovered that the block was that messed up. But the good news is in the next video, you will see the head coming back from the machine shop and also this block starting to get the honing job and all that stuff done before we send it to the machine shop. But anyways, we're gonna get into all of that. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, you really should subscribe so you can see all this content. Make sure to click the bell notification, smash the like button, and drop a comment with any comments or anything you want to see in the future. We really appreciate the support we're getting thus far and can't wait to keep growing with you guys. So thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Ryan, Clive, how do we close out? 1, 2, 3.